again, friends. This is Adam at Northern Colorado Adventures, my little channel, my little corner of the YouTube universe. And today we're going to be talking about winter in Northern Colorado because it is January and it is hunker down time. It is winterize the toys kind of time and to look at upgrades, new gear, things like that. So I thought I would do a three-part series on different types of gear and adventures around the area. We had 8 inches of snow in the Denver area today. We've got about 6 inches and counting up here along the northern range of the Rocky Mountains. And so today I've managed to put together some footage of trail running shoes that I have tried out. And we're going to do a little trial head-to-head of the Hoka 1, which is a very famous trail running shoe with a very passionate community behind the Hoka brand. And then the Altra Lone Peak 6, another passionate community of trail runners, as trail running is a major part of life anywhere there are trails, and in Colorado there are many. And then the second part of this three-part series will be dedicated to new gear for the Triumph Tiger bike here over my right shoulder. We'll talk about things I'm adding through the winter, have added as I went into winter, and talk about how I made those decisions, and hopefully that'll help as well. And the third part is going to be about sledding up near Red Feather Lakes outside of Fort Collins, Colorado, which is where they have a tube sled operation, and they have a cable lift that just tows you up to the top of the hill. And we had a great time there last weekend, so I'll be updating content on that. So without further ado, I want to talk about these two shoes, put them head to head, the Hoka and the Altra. So I made a list just to kind of recap and kind of collect my thoughts about what I love about each one. So we're going to talk about the Hoka first. So this is the Hoka 1 Speed Goat, a very popular trail running shoe. And the things I really loved about the Hoka, you can tell by some of the shots here that it has a very thick sole, lots of cushion. I really love that, almost too much. I mean, this thing looked like a double stuffed Oreo cookie. I mean, you're really up on a pile of cushioning there in the shoe, which I like. Trail running, that's nice. It was well made. I felt like the seams, even to the laces, the eyelets that the laces ran through, it was well made. The rubber didn't come off. I had these shoes for about 2 seasons, 2 to 3 seasons, and I ran them in the desert. I ran them in Arizona trails, and I've run them here. And I felt like they held up well. I also like them for hiking. I thought just going for just kind of a casual hike where there's rock and gravel and trail or in the forest, they do well. They're comfortable. You can go the distance. Okay. Compared to the pros of the Altra, here's what I would say about the Altra. Design, look, and colors, way better than the Hoka. I just seem to like a little more rugged design, color combinations that made more sense to me. Didn't look like you were wearing a shoe from Disney, which I really liked. I happen to run I need a little wider toe box. I have a wider foot that's one of these crazy size 11.5, 12 in the US size, and could be a wide shoe, but I tend to run in the normal width shoes. So I really like that I didn't have to kind of play games with what shoe size I needed because I have a slightly wider foot. Didn't have to go wide with the Altra. I love the big toe box. And I also think it was more of a natural running movement for the front of my foot as I ran on the trail. Felt more comfortable. In the back, they have a clever Velcro sort of latch system. So this is the Altra. I sold the Hokas to a gentleman near San Jose. So thank you, Randy, on eBay for buying those shoes. And I hope you're loving running those foothills outside of San Jose, California. These are the Altra, and this is the tab where you can attach. They're brand new, so they're kind of stingy. You can attach the ice cleats. So on an icy or snowy day here in Colorado, you have like a plastic neoprene set of sharp cleats that are only about 1/4 inch long that you can strap over the toe of the shoe and then around the back. And then latch them in under this Velcro. Pretty clever design, and I really feel like they're the only ones doing this. And I talked to the shop that sold me these, and they think that's just the greatest thing, and they haven't seen it on a lot of the other model shoes they carry. So I like that about the Altra, that you can't do with a Hoka. So if you're in a place that has more ice and snow, and you kind of want to get out there when there's a little left on the trail, even though it may have melted, but you need a little support for in case you run into ice, you can tack that on comfortably. I also felt more planted in these. I feel like the Hoka was so high up on that cushion, it was kind of uncomfortable. I felt almost like I was running and I was kind of wobbly on my ankles, and I have pretty good ankles, so I was really concerned that that was a shoe issue, and that did not appear with the Altra. So I do think that is something to think about when buying the Hoka, is you do sit higher, and some people, it's a little unnerving to be that high off the trail. The other thing to think about is the trail is soft, right? The trail is going to be something you run on that's not going to feel like cement anyway. So do you need the cushion? This was a trade-off I found that bugged me about the Altra, was if I wanted to run on pavement to get to the trail, you definitely notice some more impact with these than you do in the Hoka with all that cushion. But once you're on the trail, you don't need all that cushioning. You're running on, you know, soft dirt or gravel. I guess it depends on the surfaces near your home. I do like these for hiking. I thought hiking with them went really well. I love them for the price. So another pro of these, the Altra, they're being discontinued, and they're on sale now at places like REI for about $84. Their regular price is $140. The Hoka, however, was $155. So definite $60 price differential there. Let's talk about the cons. So the cons of the Hoka: narrow toe box, and for reasons I just kind of talked about, not something that I really enjoyed. I came out of the Hoka and I feel like my feet had to kind of unfold a little bit as I walked around the house. So something to think about if you have a wider foot or a wider toe box, or if you have a lot of foot cramping going on when you run, or if you feel like your toes are kind of folding over, that kind of thing. One thing I didn't like about the Hoka: narrow toe box versus the Altra. We talked about high centering. I felt a little bit too high on that thick sole. I also didn't like the arch support. I tend to run on flat arches. Have had low arches. I wouldn't call them zero, but they're getting there as I go through life. And I do wear Superfeet inserts in all my running shoes, which I highly encourage anyone with high arches or low arches, or just someone who doesn't like the arch support they're getting with the factory insole of the shoes, to run those. They're about $40 to $50 at your local sporting goods store or on Amazon. So the arch support in the Hoka, not that great. You get the squish, but when you get squish, you kind of say, you know what, I'm not going to get much arch support. I put arch supports in these, feels great. I took the factory one out, put the Superfeet in, problem resolved. I also didn't like the breathability of the Hoka. I feel like the Hoka shoes, every time I took them off, my feet were, you know, pretty sweaty. These Altra breathe great. Never had that problem. So breathability was a problem with the Hoka. We talked about arch support in these, very poor arch support. But once you put the Superfeet in, I think you get the best of both worlds there. I really do. And then the impact we talked about. So those are the main concerns. I think the take-home message is this: if you love trail running and you're thinking about the Hokas and the Altras, the difference makers would be, for me, wide toe box and arch support. And because for me, I love the wider toe box is my number one thing a running shoe's got to have, I can put arch supports in the Altra versus the Hoka. When I put them in the Hoka, boy, I lose space in that shoe real fast, and it made it even more uncomfortable for distances over just a couple miles. So I hope this was a helpful video. Think about trail running when you can. It's a great hobby. Try it out, and post something in the comments about the running shoes for trail running that you enjoy, or ones that you've decided you've tried and just don't like. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Appreciate you all. Have a great day.